Welcome to the best of Homes on Homes. After more than 100 episodes of Homes on Homes, you get to know a lot of people and their stories. Some really make an impact on me. Today, we look back at the stories that were more than just renovations, they were emotional rescues. Homes on Homes was always about helping people. Sometimes fixing a house, it's just the easy part. It's when people get emotionally beaten and worn down that it goes way beyond the bricks and the mortar. It's amazing to see people work through hardship and somehow come out stronger. These are pretty inspiring stories.
Nice. Awesome.
Look at the nest. They got a nest of them.
Yeah, baby.
If you're going to do it right the first time.
My hero.
It's perfect. On the money.
Thank you, guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever?
Life can throw us some wild curveballs. Some we catch, some we drop. And sometimes we're thrown so many at once, we have to ask for help. When Franka and her daughter Daniela told me what they were up against, I had to step in and help.
Franka and her family's been living here for probably in the area of 18 years. Out of all the jobs I've done, this must be the most life-changing event. Start with a fire in the middle bedroom.
The place was swarming with cops and ambulance, fire trucks.
Construction everywhere.
We were told that if we went with an insurance-approved contractor, that, they would back us up 100%, that, they would be the ones looking after the progress of the house and making sure that things were done in a timely fashion.
Daniela, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Franka, nice to see you again.
We felt more comfortable knowing that the insurance was going to be backing us up, so we went with this contractor, and then just things did not go well.
So you've been out of the house, I guess around 8 months now.
8 months. Unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Now we have raccoons living in the house, taking over the home, leaving, obviously, if they turn it into a bathroom.
Is our power off to this house?
No.
Okay. We have knob and tube.
They said they were just going to drywall over it. It's not a problem.
Oh, it's a problem.
I asked them, I said, doesn't it have to be brought up to code? Like what was once code back in like 19 whatever? And they said, no, our responsibility is to put the house back exactly how it was. If you want anything extra, then that's a cost to you.
So he's trying to charge you more money.
Right.
Yep.
On the side.
Right.
Foul play. Incredible foul play here.
Basically, they were cutting corners is bottom line.
Yeah,
like things that, I think they thought that they could get away with.
Daniela was working long hours at the family restaurant. That left Franka to deal with the contractors, and she was having a really hard time. The work they were doing was sloppy and nowhere finished, even if they showed up. Things went missing. Signatures were being forged on checks. Bottom line, things were bad no matter how you looked at it. And in the middle of all this chaos, Franka loses her mom. Things couldn't get any worse for this family, right? But they did.
Shortly after my grandmother died, my dad died.
All within a matter of months, devastation within the family. That the fire is the minor part.
It was hard. And the last thing we wanted was to worry about the house. You get things in perspective then.
There's nothing that can upset me more when people are treated not only unfairly, but robbed.
And at one point, I had phoned the insurance and said, that's it. I just want them to stop. I can't deal with another death and the house at this time.
I'm going to completely take over. I'm going to deal with the insurance company. I'm going to deal with taking this house apart and doing whatever I have to do to put it back together again, to bring them home and give them what they should have.
So don't worry about anything.
Thank
You're a
you.
sweetie. I'm going to fix it, okay? The upstairs was already gutted. That made my job a little easier, but everything else was a disaster. We needed to rip out what the contractors had done so we could start with a clean slate. After gutting the rest of the house, we could see what needed to be done, and there was a lot. We had asbestos to deal with, structure to fix.
Tell me your level. Oh, your level.
And an oil tank to remediate. We needed to replace the roof, the kitchen, redo the plumbing, not to mention landscaping. I'm telling you, there was no end to the job. Was it worth it? Absolutely. I think everyone involved here was proud of what we did because we brought the family home. And these people deserved everything we did.
You know, when a family goes through this kind of tragedy, that not only was there bad contracting here, but a world of pain, I'm gonna do my damnedest to make their lives different. It's a new day, really. For them, it's a new day.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
Wow. This looks
the top.
amazing.
Obviously, a new cedar deck for you. We've closed it in. You have a gate on the other side. All new windows and doors.
That smells good.
Smells good, doesn't it? This family's gone through hell as far as I'm concerned. It's now an opportunity that I have to make their life better. We kept the old tub because it was Teo's idea to tip it over at the end there and fill it full of tulips so that it will just overflow with tulips coming out of that tub. And we have in memory of your mom. Tell her name, the plaques I had them made up.
Even her name.
Cool.
Yep.
That's very, very, very cool. You don't even know how appropriate that is because my grandmother had a bathtub on her front lawn that she planted flowers in.
Is that right?
Yes.
She used it as a planter.
The least that I could do for them was to help change their lives. After you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, this is gorgeous.
Oh, man. Holy.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Look at the staircase.
Oh, hey, look at your kitchen.
Look at the kitchen. Oh, my God.
I was able to
Wow.
Oh, my God.
get you all new appliances.
Oh, my God.
This is amazing. I feel like I'm walking into somebody else's home.
Now, did I pass?
Oh, yeah. Flying
Good?
colors.
Flying colors?
I
Thank
don't
you.
even know how we'll
Very
ever thank you. Like, never. We can never thank you for this, never.
Well, you know what? Just you getting back home and living a different life, that's thanks enough for me.
It's amazing.
As a father, fixing Jim and Allison's home was one of the toughest jobs I've ever done in my life. How a contractor could leave them the way he did is beyond me.
We found out that one of our daughters had cerebral palsy.
This is a total...
It was inevitable that we would have to renovate.
I just want to kick someone's ass right now.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. We've been looking at the stories that weren't just about rescuing a home, they were about rescuing a family. Usually, when I come into a job, I already know I'm walking into a bad situation. Physically, there's going to be repairs, but then there's the whole other world of what the homeowners are going through emotionally. And if fixing their house is one less thing they have to worry about, then I've done my job right. For Jim and Allison, I was ready to do anything and everything.
I looked down the driveway, and that was what got me. I went, oh, I could see kids. 1 month after we signed the papers, we found out we were pregnant with triplets.
Jim and Allison started with an addition for their children, mainly for Annie, who was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And the idea was to give wheelchair access, to give her a bedroom in the front and off the kitchen and make everything a wonderful layout. It works. Everything I see is the way it should be, other than finished. Good morning.
How are you?
How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing?
Good to
Nice to
see
see
you
you,
again.
Jim. Allison.
When they started on here, the guys were great. Like, everything was going really well.
We're not finished.
This is where it starts.
This is where it starts. This is the old home, and you put on the addition
Yep.
for your
The old
daughter
farmhouse. Yep.
or daughters, everyone.
Yep. It seemed like everything started to get very slow when they came through the door and came into and started to do the old part of the farmhouse.
That's just concrete. Please tell me there's a coating on that.
There was something black.
They weren't coming out very much, and when they did come out, it just didn't seem like there was a lot of work being done.
This is a big issue right here, I'll tell you right now. I have a feeling we're gonna have to dig this whole entire area right here to make sure that this is properly coated and properly wrapped on the outside of the foundation. Bottom line is, it's not done. Thank you. So
Yeah.
we're slightly unfinished. I'm seeing a handmade island in the kitchen here.
Yes, this is our island that we got. It was one of the last things that was done. They're missing the doors. And this little spot was where Annie's wheelchair went under. It actually fell down on top of her one day.
By the time they got to Annie's room, the bedroom, the bathroom, we can see that they started cutting corners and not caring about the finishing just to get it done and get out of here.
So the idea was just to be off the kitchen here for Annie, and we could wheel her in and put her on the bed and then use the bathroom. They put the wrong door in Annie's room, and the bathroom floor was supposed to be ready to tile. It wasn't ready to tile, and the bathtub wasn't ready to tile either.
This is a real simple thing. I'm a man of my word. I do what I say I'm going to do. If I make a mistake, it's my problem. I will learn from it and I will pay for it. It's very simple. Why do homeowners have to pay the price?
Yeah, so at that point, we sort of thought, well, we'll
Wait till the spring.
wait till the spring and try and find somebody to fix the house.
Forget spring. I knew this family needed me to start right away. I couldn't wait for a bad situation to get worse, and believe me, it was getting worse.
So they put up 2 2x8s, laminated as a beam across this area, and held it up with vertical 4x4s. Yeah, just put a piece of plastic around it so it's not touching concrete. It's not even anchored. You gotta love this. That's wonderful. Why do people do this? Not only is there plumbing over top of the frickin' panel, there's no insulation holding it. Is this supposed to be a sump pump? That's submerged into muck? Look at all the plumbing in these voids. I've got water lines in here, okay? I don't even know where they go. Well, why am I seeing them in the outside void directly over top of this panel? See this? This is the way you insulate that? Oh, we got plumbing, structure. This has just turned into a total nightmare for me. How do you do this to a family?
Dan definitely had his hands full. We ended up replumbing a good part of the house. Not that many things shock me anymore, but I couldn't believe what I saw in that basement. The contractor, he dug a trench that undermined the entire structure of the house. We're talking about the foundation potentially caving in. He didn't reinforce it, so we had to bench it with concrete and cinder block walls. The basement alone was a major job, but we also had the exterior to finish, which included brickwork and waterproofing. Was this a big job? Yes, absolutely. But I wasn't going to back down when this family needed me most. I'm a parent, so I know what it means to try and give your kids a safe home to grow up in. That's all Allison and Jim wanted. So if I could do that for them, why wouldn't I?
In April of '05, our daughter passed away. And that was pretty tough. That was a pretty tough thing to have happen. And at that point, looking at the house, it just became a really sad reminder of what we were doing here, of what we were trying to do.
How you doing? Welcome to my home. It's really not necessary anymore to have wheelchair accessibility. But under the circumstances, to this family, they want it the way it was supposed to be for when Annie was alive.
Libby, she's gonna be in here now?
Yeah.
This is gonna be her room now.
Okay,
yeah.
so we've rerouted all your plumbing back to inside wall and down to the basement to make sure it does not freeze again. We don't want that, especially in the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit bittersweet coming in here. When I first walked in, it's a little bit bittersweet because that bathroom should have been that way, you know, a long time ago. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you.
I just hope you feel better. You don't worry about anything anymore, okay? And if you need anything, call me.
This just wasn't a house for her. It was like a really safe place for her to be. She had a little school around the corner that she went to. This little village was everything for her. It was just a really great place for Annie to live. And to look at the house and to see it as it was, it just made me want to complete it because this is what remains. And for her sisters, for us, you know, we just wanted to make it really, really right.
Jim and Allison just wanted to finish what they started. But in Gloria's case, she had nowhere to start. When there's no home to fix, what do? I build it from the ground up.
We heard boom, boom, boom 3 times. After that, here come the water. The water was coming so fast. I lost everything.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. These stories are about emotional rescues, where the damage done to the property is only a fraction of the emotional damage these people live through. If these stories have taught me anything, it's that the human spirit can be tested but not broken. Take New Orleans. The devastation left by Hurricane Katrina after levees broke was unreal. Over 1,000 people died. 250,000 homes were damaged or completely destroyed. The lower Ninth Ward was the hardest hit. Most people in the neighborhood lost everything. Those who survived did it by climbing on rooftops or into trees, waiting to be rescued. Gloria was one of them.
My house was floating away, and so we wound up there in the attic, and when we left out the attic, we had to take it, jump to the second roof.
When I came off the bridge in my boat, rescuing people, riding down here, the house was gone. This was empty.
Everything was crumbled up in that tree over there. I had a station wagon in the driveway, and my other red car was in the backyard. That was still there, but everything else was crumbled up. That's the only thing that I could recognize where my property was.
All the trees that you see out here had people in them. All the trees you see out here, I was riding down here, getting them out the trees.
They get the blankets and they put it on you, and they tell you, grab your part, you hold it like that, in order for to keep, so the winds won't get you.
It stopped about 10 o'clock and the sun came out just like it is right now, like it had never stormed or nothing. And all you could see was water. Nothing but water. Couldn't see no houses. All you could see is rooftops. Rooftops.
9.5 hours without food or anything. Only thing we do is hold that blanket and stay there. That's how that man saved us all night, shorty.
I can't even describe it. Riding around, looking at dead folks in the water, trying to help people that you can't really help.
You seen dead bodies in there. You seen a lot of people and, trying to fight for their life. Some of them had little boats and stuff, but it was horrible.
I can't talk about this no more. It's really getting to my head.
The devastation was overwhelming, and that was only the beginning. Now they needed to rebuild their lives. Almost 3 years later, we were there to help, and thankfully, we weren't the only ones.
Nice hot day. I love the heat. I have 4 professional framers with me today on top of my crew. I couldn't be happier.
Beautiful day. Talk to me, big dog.
Ready to go to work.
I'm Louis Jackson.
Louis, absolute pleasure to meet you. I'm
Nice to
glad
meet
you're
you.
coming aboard here to help us make it right. Who you got with you?
I have Brent, Jeffrey,
Brent?
How you doing, sir?
Sir
How you
Jeff?
doing, Mike?
Nice to meet you.
and my lead man is Brian.
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 How you doing, man?
How you doing, Mike Holmes? I know a lot about you.
We have the outside wall completely up, nice level, true, squaring up the front. It's working out perfect. Louis, he knows how to run his guys. He's doing an awesome job.
It's encouraging with the help of guys like Mike and his crew. It's encouraging to see that, in the city that care for God, people really do care. And that's why I'm here. That's why I want to help.
Maybe I should just come in there. There's air conditioning in there, isn't there? Hi, Gloria. How are you? Gloria, she is a sweet woman. You have to look at it from my side. My side says, I really hope this family is not only deserving, but beautiful, wonderful people, and oh my God. Wow. You can start to see the profile of it. These concrete columns. I told Gloria, we're here to get you home. That's why we're here. This isn't about anything else to me. We're here to get you home in a house that will protect you forevermore. Well, hopefully this house is big enough. We are making it the 4-bedroom. You know that.
All right, thank you. I thank God.
I don't know how you would have done the 2-bedroom, to be honest with you. Meeting Gloria today just sort of lifted up my spirits again. And that sort of renews my faith of why we're here, why we're doing it, what we're doing. I'm smiling again. The reason I called you here is we're gonna have a little tailgate meeting. I'll pull the tailgate down. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everybody kicking ass here, and Louie and Brian, all you guys stepping up to the plate. I got a little present for everyone.
So in this box, these are the new belts that I've designed. And each one of you get to have the bomb. Stiletto.
Oh, man. Look at Brian.
Really? Yeah.
Heck yeah.
There you go. Done deal.
I like that.
It's yours.
For real.
Take a belt, take it home with your hammer.
You guys go ahead.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. You're welcome, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. My pleasure. Almost everyone we worked with had a story to tell about Katrina. The horror was still very real for them. They're survivors, but they're walking wounded.
Never in my life. Just the first time I ever seen something like that. It make a person want to really cry. A lot of things down, like telephone poles, streets tore up, where the water done swept through the streets and tore the grounds up. Helicopters, people you just kept the radio near you, you listen to the news. But people that's snipers, that's trying to get me to come out of the city, didn't want me to come in here to do the work. That's basically what they did. They tried to stop us. It's a scary feeling. It is a scary feeling. I think maybe 3 times we was being sniped, somebody shooting at us. 3 times they shot at us. Just bring back memories. Try to forget it. See people dying, bodies floating around. I'm sorry. People trying to fight each other, trying to survive. Nobody wants to give nobody a hand out here.
Hearing all those stories was tough for me, but everyone we met was determined to move forward. One of those people was Miss LeBlanc, who lived next door to our job site. She sat on her porch every day and watched us work. She was cute.
This is progress we've been waiting for. A new beginning.
That's for sure.
That's what it is, a new beginning.
I'd be glad to go in my house so I can enjoy and have peace. And when I go to the house, I'll say, glory, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, you blessed me. I can't ask for no more.
If anything, the people there taught us that we should not stop, and you can't stop. You respect and remember the past, but you've got to keep moving forward.
They are really doing a beautiful job. Dedicated people.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. New Orleans became a story about its people. We were there to try and give back what Mother Nature and poor planning took away. And sometimes tragedy gives us the chance to show what we're really made of.
It's almost 3 years later, and things are still, windows are still broken, signs are still in the house. We want to come home, miles away from here. How do you make people feel better? Well, getting back to a positive thing, building. Getting back to fixing the streets, cutting the grass, and getting people together to say that we can make this right together. And it isn't just about building. Making it right means make it right for your family, your life.
I'm happy, but I thank God I'm happy to get back home. A lady told me, she said, Gloria, you're not scared to go back to where you left from and you almost died. I said, no. I said, I had time to think, I had time to meditate, and my God led me to go back, and that's where I'm going back. And I'm not afraid. I'm glad I found me something temporarily until they finish with the house. So I could bring all these grandchildren and all my family back together like they're supposed to be.
Time and time again, we met strangers willing to help us get Gloria home. Rusty was one of those people. She was a first responder after Katrina, which meant she was there to help restore basic services.
You don't want to know what the city looked like. You really don't. It was devastation beyond what I've ever seen. You had to be here, you had to see it, you had to smell it, you had to feel it, you had to know it to understand why it kind of tweaks our emotions a little bit, maybe. Yeah, it's just... A lot of people came in to really help people, and others came in to help themselves. And that was horrible, too. I thought of people to come in here and just take advantage of those that lost everything. Recently became a widow shortly before Katrina. And it's kind of tough being on my own. And there was no place to live. I had nothing. And it was just a lot of devastation. You know, you wake up every morning, you're in your truck, and you're out in the back on the tailgate brushing your teeth every morning. You're thinking all the things that God gives everybody, they take it all for granted. They really do. You become more aware when you're living like that. You know, become more passionate about living, more sensitive to other people's needs. Can you give me a minute?
Years after Katrina, Rusty comes back. She wants to help us rebuild the house for Gloria. She literally had nothing after Katrina, but she taught us that when you think you've got nothing left to give, you can still give your time. Rusty, where's your helmet?
Well, so they didn't give me one this morning.
Didn't give you one? Well, let's get you a helmet.
He has one
do you
I
have
can
gloves?
steal.
Look at Billy's got your helmet. Uncle Billy, you know Uncle Billy, right?
We just met, yep.
Yes, Mr. Bell. Let's see if we can sell all this hair up in here, huh?
Damon,
Yeah.
let me introduce you to Rusty.
Rusty, hi.
She is our
Oh,
volunteer
yeah.
for the day.
Excellent. Oh, that's a firm handshake.
Yeah, careful, she'll take your arm off.
I believe it.
Rusty is great.
Where are you, Lundy?
She's doing everything right. She's a very strong woman, very strong-spirited after what she's been through.
Got it, it's all yours.
She's tough. She's tough as nails. She's probably the toughest guy I have on site.
Rusty didn't have the money to fix the starter in her truck, so what does she do? She learned how to start a truck her own way. She doesn't let things stop her, and that's the drive that I saw in the people there. They push. They're still pushing.
Oh, you want to see how Southern starts a truck, huh? Well, come on, I'll show you how Southern starts a truck. First of all, we gotta pop the hood, put it in neutral, turn the key on. Then we get our key, and we go around to the front. Poor little thing.
We had only 10 weeks to build this house, which is tough even in the best conditions. We had rain, we had over 100 degrees of heat. We even had hurricane and tornado warnings. It slowed us down, so we needed all the help we could get. And guess what? We got it. More workers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's lay the sod. Remember, green side up, all right? One of the best things about this experience was seeing everybody come together and help each other out. These were devastated people, but they were supporting each other, and that's what I call strength.
Oh, those kids, you know what? I had tears in my eyes. Those kids were dirty, the rain was falling, and they were still planting. That was show you how much people care about you.
Are you ready to see your house?
Yeah.
There's been a whole lot of people working real hard to break for this day.
I appreciate it.
And we made the anniversary, notice that, eh?
All right.
What's today's date?
29.
29th of August.
Right. When I lost the house.
When you lost the house 3 years ago.
Right.
All right, come on, let's go see it.
All right. I'm so happy I don't know what to do. Everything I dream of, I'm telling you. And I thank God for making it happen for me.
Come on in, there's the front door.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
I'm even gonna take my boots off.
It's beautiful. Well, I was surprised and my heart got full and the tears rolled down. And that's the answer to my prayers, the dream that I had. And this is the house for it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, look how big and beautiful.
When I brought Miss LeBlanc to see it, she's been dying to see it. And when she got into that house and she just started looking around and they bumped into each other and embraced and just said, it was like two neighbors welcome each other, two good friends welcoming each other back into the neighborhood.
Now, I tell you what, I'm gonna have to get me an apron because you're gonna need a maid.
Oh, yeah. So you can help me cook.
So just holler through the window and tell me when you're ready.
It's going to come help me.
I'll be your mate. I could do it. I can get the apron on.
I'll get the apron and I'll come help you clean up.
For me and the crew, it was an incredible journey. Not only did we help a woman who lost it all, but we met a lot of people who dropped everything to give us a hand. People I'm glad I met because they showed us what it means to be strong-willed, and I'll never forget them.
If I used to do a lot of baking, y'all might get some muffins in the morning. I'll let you know.
In New Orleans, people were sad to see their homes go, but in Christina and Joe's case, their home's demolition was a blessing.
Say bye to this house, Juliana.
Bye, house. Bye, house.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. A renovation is more than just construction. It involves people's time, their money, their emotions. All these things are tied together. So the worse a renovation gets, the worse it gets for everyone involved. When I heard Christina and Joe's story, I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe that a contractor could build such garbage. Stepping in, I knew this family had reached their limit financially and emotionally. That's why I had to help.
I moved into that little house on my own with my mom 13, almost 14 years ago now. It was 1 bathroom and 3 bedrooms, a small kitchen, a small living dining room. It was nice though. We'd finished it up. I'd painted. In 1997, Joe and I got married. When Joe moved in, it was still quite comfortable. When we had Juliana, we started to think about more space.
Hired a contractor, worked with them on the home, actually friend of the family.
So I thought, I trust him, and then I especially trusted my girlfriend. I thought, you know what, there's no way that she's gonna let her husband screw us up.
After 2 years and $200,000, they still couldn't live in their house. Everything was either done wrong or not done at all.
Well, that's the garage right there. Not only do we see down in the basement, I can see right outside in the garage. What do you think about exhaust fumes coming inside your house when you have kids? You hear the stories. People die.
The job started falling apart, and so did their friendship. The contractor kept asking for more and more money, more than what they'd said in the contract. And when the money ran out, the contractor ran off. But not before he put a lien on their house, and a big one.
And so I thought, I'm gonna write to Homes on Homes.
Yeah. Just get us back home if you can. Just finish the floors, finish everything, and we'll take care of it from there.
He'd never seen so many things done wrong.
After what I saw for 2 hours straight walking through the house, it was impossible. There was not a chance in hell I was going to make this livable. Say goodbye to this place.
Hallelujah.
I built you a Mercedes, he said. Right? Now, we're going to open this up, and I've already seen enough wrong. We're going to open this up. We're going to see 1,000 more things wrong. Should he get away with this?
Oh, my God. That's crap. That's real bad.
Everything's garbage here.
Let's take it down.
I've never, ever seen a job so bad in my life.
I'm thrilled because I can't walk by this house or even think about putting a pot of water on to boil in a kitchen that has been touched by this person that just brings just everything back. It's taken a strain on Joe and me. It's going to take us a long time to recover psychologically, I think.
Nice to see you again, my dear. Joe?
We have really good memories of being in that house. It's, we did what we could with it.
It offsets the bad memories right now. But that's all we have now. It's just the memories of it.
Some pictures.
Yeah.
I hated what I saw and what he built. It's a hole in the ground. I own a hole in the ground. Or we own. So.
Talk about damage, the betrayal, the cost, a ton of stress that pulls on every part of a person's life. How do you find peace when you can't even have a home to live in? I was determined to build them the best home that I could. If If I was gonna build a house, I was gonna build something special. I wanted to raise the bar and build a house that would last forever. One that not only looks good, but also works efficiently. The entire structure was made of concrete and steel. That means it won't burn, it won't mold, it won't rot. You want strong? This is strong. It was also a massive job, and I had every pro I knew in there to help get it done.
Everyone you can think of is here today. And I mean everyone. Electricians, plumbers, painters, us, fencing guys, roof guys, flashing guys, caulking guys, and a few girls.
By the end, I felt we accomplished something really big. Not only did we give them back their home, we give them back their lives. They could finally come home, move on, and build new dreams. Over 3 years, they've been out of their house. Imagine being out of your house for that long. Could you have any idea what that can do to you? Come on.
Wow.
Follow me.
Holy Mike.
Jump.
And just hold me. It's absolutely gorgeous.
A little stunning, isn't it?
It's so beautiful. It's gonna be nice to come home.
I think it's about time you get your butt back home.
You don't realize just how it can touch you and how fortunate we are for that. So it's restored. It was never really gone, but I think it's just redeemed it and validated that there's a lot of good out there. We're pretty lucky. Thank you.
Marlene showed me the human spirit is stronger than anything. She's walking proof that after tragedy, your will to move forward pushes you forward.
Washes her clothes, irons, mends, cleans, and presses. Has sandwich dinner at home and listens to the radio. Retires exhausted to plan for another week of no real fun. 1947, How to Be a Lady. It didn't work.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. We've been looking at the stories that were as much about rebuilding lives as they were about rebuilding homes. When people call me for help, they've either run out of options, money, or hope, sometimes all three. Usually fixing their home is enough to help them, but there are times the damage goes deeper than the repair. We traveled to New Brunswick to help Marlene with her second-story deck. Here was a woman so full of life, I couldn't believe what she went through. Now, I'm told that a contractor came in, built a second-story deck, and you were on the deck and it fell.
Three of my three best friends.
It was Father's Day last year. It was Sunday, and we all just tended to gather after supper. Everybody called, and they were coming over, the three girls. And we were sitting in the living room.
And we had been painting on the fence the day before, Heather and I. So as they were leaving, we all walked out to look at the sunflowers.
And so we were just walking out on the deck to have one quick look, and everybody was going home. So it was just a matter of 1, 2, 3. I was the second person out. Heather walked out the fourth, and then that was it. I have no memory of the fall. I have no memory of the crash. I don't have any memory of the sound.
The floor of that deck was 17 feet off the ground. That's a long way down.
So it dropped from this corner, and then I think one of the supports caught it, and it did a 180 flip over.
Now, Sue, because she was the first one out there, and she had walked out, and she immediately just had her hands on the railing.
She comes off the deck and lands on the ground. The deck comes down on top of her. She thinks she's gonna die.
She was just calling out, "I'm gonna die, somebody help me, I'm gonna die."
They're all lying there. There's no one there to help them. There's no one there to save them. Someone's gotta get up and call 911. They're calling out for people. Oh my God, all I can think of is that moment.
Apparently somebody had heard the noise, but didn't know what it was or where it came from. But when Gail hit the street covered in blood, that's when they knew where it was.
I heard there was broken bones.
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Hundreds.
Sue did fight for her life for quite a while. She was in intensive care. They had to replace her shoulder. Her shoulder was smashed, so they gave her an artificial shoulder. Her back was broken in 2 places. Her pelvis was shattered like a car windshield.
We were so lucky that the deck didn't hit any of our legs or arms.
We know somebody saved us that day. We all say it was because it was Father's Day. We felt it was our fathers watching out for us.
It's a miracle that we're all can walk.
The engineer's report said that the design of the deck is great. What was wrong is he used 5 leg bolts that were too short, and he pre-drilled the holes, and only one of them had hit a stud. and there was 14 nails, and that's all that held that on for 3.5 years.
So this must have hurt you financially.
Oh, it's ruined me financially. I haven't been able to work at all for the past year, mainly to the injuries to my hip, my pelvis, and tailbone, because I can't sit for any lengths of time, periods of time. It's also difficult to walk on any angles.
I couldn't undo what happened, but what I could do was give them a chance to build new memories. I could build Marlene a deck that would last a lifetime, and she would never have to worry about it ever coming down.
All right, let's dig.
We used 6x6 cedar posts to support the deck, so we had to make sure they were secure. That meant digging down 4 feet below the frost line for the concrete footings.
This is concrete time. Get our post done. It's the beginning of our structure. It's great. From here on, we build off. The beginning of everything, man.
Marlene and her friends were still shaken up. One friend couldn't even come back. It was that traumatic.
Oh, that's perfect. They're out of work, they're out of money, they're out of luck.
Unfortunately, I was in a car accident in March, and we were rear-ended on the interstate, and I re-broke my pelvis and my tailbone. So I'm sort of back to healing again. So it sort of set me back for a while.
This is so strong, and I haven't even plated the top yet. Unbelievable. For working as hard as we all do, for all the time that we've put in, this is why we do what we do. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn around and look this way. Now we can look up and we can look way up. How do you like that?
It's beautiful.
It's nice. It's a little bit of love from a lot of people.
It's beautiful.
She's gone through hell. I mean hell. She's not back to work, pain, suffering. If we can do this one little thing that makes her life better day by day, this is easy.
I've been waiting so long. Oh my God. My pony.
And your pony's there.
Pony. I've always believed, you know, when God shuts a door, he opens a window, but it's been so friggin' long. It was so shut.
It's not massive.
No, it's perfect.
But it's private.
It's perfect.
It's private.
It's perfect.
And you know how strong this is? It'll hold everyone you can put on here. And I mean everyone.
And my friends were so hurt. It's really hard. Here comes heaven.
Gail?
God, it's beautiful. And the deck girls.
Wow.
And
It's
Gail.
back. It's back.
The deck is back. I'm coming back. Thanks to you guys. I am coming back.
By making it right for Marlene, we gave her back a part of her life that she thought she'd lost. I'd like to think that we helped her move on with all the problems that she had. And her tears of joy, that was pretty good. Her hugs were great, too.
Cheers to St. John's.
Cheers
to Marlene.
He's my pony. Mike's my stallion, though.
Hi, and welcome to the best of Homes on Homes. Today we go to great heights to show you the best of the worst roofing jobs I've seen in almost 100 episodes of Homes on Homes. We all need a roof over our heads, and one that's built right keeps a house warm, dry, and animal-free. Seems simple, right? Wrong. Nothing's simple when you hire the wrong people for the job, and these next stories show us just how wrong a roofing job can go when someone fiddles on your roof.
Nice. Awesome. Look at the nest. They got a nest of them. Yeah, baby. If you're going to do it right the first time.
My hero.
It's perfect. On the money.
Thank you, guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever.
I'm always saying, hire the right people for the right job. If it's a roofing job, hire a licensed contractor who specializes in roofs. They'll know what products to use and how to use them. This makes the difference between a roof that lasts 25 years and one that won't make it through the first big storm. Dave wanted a garage studio with a flat roof, but what he got was a flat-out disaster. Hiring the wrong guy was the beginning of 5 years of headaches and hassles. Dave, nice guy. Lived across the street, had a dream. I like that spot on the corner. Nice big backyard that we see here.
Walked into the backyard and thought, this is really cool if you could put a big garage behind the house, because every guy wants a big garage.
I would like to build a shop in the back for my photography. Look at the sign. That's what I call parking. The garage is built, reserved for me. It's a square box, 12-foot high ceilings. Dave says to the contractor, I thought we were going 18 feet.
His advice was, we have a permit to build a structure that's 12 feet. Let's go ahead and do that. When it's finished, we'll raise it to 18.
Mistake number one. How you doing, Dave? Nice to see you again.
You too. Jacked it up without having a foundation in here, so he's jacking it up on dirt, basically. Gets it up, starts building the work around. It's all wobbly, it's all shaky.
Ceiling caves in, falls down. Obviously, they've made a mistake in trying to go higher up in the ceiling.
Like he could have killed somebody.
From that point on, all hell breaks loose.
That was the first stop work order. That was the big one. That was the one that lasted the longest period of time. That's the one where you got to go to talk to committees of people that know nothing about anything and try and convince them about what you should or shouldn't be able to do.
5 years later, it's to this point here. Roof, how we doing? We leaking?
Yes, roof is leaking. Most obvious areas in the back.
Well, you have a gradual slope this way, but I can see all these areas here, these white spots were puddles. We're gonna see a leak right downstairs here.
When push comes to shove, you're like, well, I got all these problems. Like, yeah, the floor's not level and my walls are all out of square, and what are you gonna do about that?
All along, water sits there, there. Obviously still there. Here's where you're leaking, right?
Yep. Tiny leaks turned into big leaks, which turned into more problems, more water.
This is very thin roofing. That's very, very thin. It went from a $50,000 job, 50 grand for a garage. That's a lot of money. To 80,000, to imperfections, to leaks, to problems. Why add on and then slope the roof this way when the roof was designed to slope this way? And that looks like hell.
That was the first sort of sign of like, hey, what's going on with my roof?
All right. Well, I've seen enough of this. We have a lot of work to do. A flat roof can't be completely flat. It needs to slope and to allow for drainage. But this roof was dipping everywhere. Water was pooling, there were puddles all over the place. It was an open invitation for leaks. And if that wasn't bad enough, the installation of the roofing materials was totally wrong. We're gonna pull the roof and see what's been done, and we'll find out from there. It appears to be sloped well coming across this way, and then obviously we see it sitting in this area, and I'm sure the more water that comes up here, the more that sits. We got all kinds of puddles.
What we might do is start ripping just on the perimeter a little bit just to see what we're going to be up against.
I think we got an easy pull up here. This is the good part about guys doing things wrong. Oh, come on. Oh, look at this. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Looks like just 15-pound felt paper.
Torch down to tar paper. Tar paper is very flammable.
They could have burnt the place down.
Holy cow. All right, obviously this is going to be easy. 5 minutes. I'm pretty damn sure of it.
Yeah, we should save it as a rain tarp.
Yeah, really.
Look at this. Ants.
This is the exact leak downstairs in the room where we saw the ceiling, right? So we see that this has been a water area that's been penetrated over and over again. We had no choice but to take up all the plywood. This should have been tongue and groove. This is why we're gonna see it go so bad. But because it's so wavy, it's because it's not breathing. It's trapping moisture within the roof itself. It's not breathing. So it's killing all the wood on top. And I can't believe he hasn't flooded way worse than he already has. The idea was to rip all their 2x8s down and create the slope, but nobody used the chalk line. 1 3/8, 1 7/8, all in one section. They just cut by eye. So that's gonna make it go like this. I got a whole bunch of finger work there. Once we tore the roof off, I made sure there was proper airflow to prevent condensation and mold. Next step was to create a consistent slope to get the water draining in the right direction, into the troughs.
So we need a string, a chalk line, a skill saw, and extension cord, please. So we're gonna be from 0, or 9 1/4, to 5 1/2 up. So let's chalk line that from that point to the top corner. Okay, so rip this, and then I want you to use that as a template. The crown is always on that side when you put it down as a template.
Okay.
Okay, and then keep marking, keep cutting, keep going. Now we can drastically see that nice 4-inch drop from one side to the other. Nice and true, exactly how we want to see it. We're just getting ready for the roofers. We're going to sweep this off, get the safety rail back up again.
We don't want to get any heat or flame down to the wood deck. We put down this first, and it covers, sort of fire blocks those seams on the protective board so we don't have any chance of a fire. It's not 100% fireproof, but it does keep the heat and the flame away from directly being in contact with the wood.
Now, this looks light, but let me tell you, at 15 pounds minimum a sheet, it's not light. This is a very smart product to use. It's a fireboard, so when they torch down their first membrane, nothing's gonna light on fire.
What we do is we offset the seams, about half a sheet, similar to plywood when you're sheeting a roof. That way it doesn't sort of telegraph through on the base roof. Just flattens out the surface a bit.
With the right roof and proper slope, Dave could finally relax. His studio was now safe and protected from all weather.
Oh, geez, look at this.
Not bad, eh?
Oh, it's great.
Well, for me, what do? We walk in, it starts with a roof. Wow. Obviously started with your roof, pulled your complete roof, restructured the whole thing, then did down a triple layer effect. Actually, it was 4 with the protection board. Obviously, new eavesdrop, downspout.
Yeah, it looks fabulous.
Not only does it look good, the longevity of this product is phenomenal.
It looks fabulous. I wouldn't even believe this was the same building. It looks great.
It does look different, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's like you put a brand new building here.
We damn near did. We damn near did.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And on this job, boy, was there smoke. Unfortunately, one of the easiest places for a contractor to hide his mistakes is right above your head.
Well, if they'd done this, what else have they covered up?
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. Today, we're looking back at the roofing jobs that went bottom up. A lot of homeowners ask if it's okay to install new shingles right over the old ones. They think it can save them time and money, but I'm telling you it doesn't. It's like giving a car a paint job when it needs a tune-up. Franka and Daniela, they needed my help. They got burned twice. First, a fire damaged their home, then a contractor left them stranded.
You look and you see and you think, oh my God, like there was a fire here and it's all full of smoke and stuff. But I honestly didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was pretty contained. There's a lot of damage here.
My mother had been sick and she had been back home. And then shortly thereafter, she passed away. And I was saying that I just didn't have the time to arrange funerals and be on top of what they were doing here because there were a few things that did not go right.
2 months work? 2 months they've been in this house?
3.
3 months.
3 good months of work. They've put in 3 good months in here.
Well, let's be serious. What did they do?
Not very much.
Basically, they were cutting corners is bottom line.
Yeah,
like things that, you know, I think they thought that they could get away with.
Whatever work was done, and it wasn't much, that was bad. Plus, the family was out of the house for so long that new tenants moved in, raccoons. Between the damage caused by the raccoons and the sloppy work, I had to gut this house to make it right. While we were fixing what the contractor screwed up, we found a roof that needed immediate attention.
This is gonna be really nice to see. So all the sheeting's nailed down with roofing nails and not spikes?
It would appear that way. Out of sight, out of mind. Like where the customer cannot see what was being done, they come up here, they leave the old vents in, they don't flash the chimneys properly, all right? Because they know the customer's not gonna come up here and check it out.
Okay, well, if they've done this, what else have they covered up? We'll have to take it down and look at it. This is cute. Put up a new roof. This is minor compared to some of the stuff I saw over on the other side there. It's all rotten. I don't want to see this neither. There's nothing to tie into. You walk on that, fall through, fall off. This is why we have lines. There wasn't even tar paper coming up the side here. I want to see a minimum of weather and ice shield from the roof line to the end gable. They just taken the old crap wood. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, they should have been plywood, but they went right over top. Obviously, we have a rotted area here. This was the hump that we saw earlier, but it's all shingle nails holding it down. I'll bet you pull that up with no problem at all. And you shouldn't be able to pull that up by hand. That's ridiculous. Yeah, imagine the high winds getting underneath that. That's a good shim effect. Yeah, how many layers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, it's not just a shim, they were shorting the plywood.
I see. So they fake the back, they fake the front. Pitiful. So we're gonna strip it, we're gonna sheet it with 1/2-inch plywood right over it. I guess at the same token, we'll pull up any rotten wood that's there, sheet that, and then go over top of that.
Yeah.
Did you see the little patches they did down there?
Yeah, exactly. You know, they've used a piece of chipboard, which is 7/16 in that area, a piece of 3/8 ply in this area. You can see the height, the elevation difference. And all of that, like the rest of this roof, it just telegraphs through the shingle, and it gives an uneven appearance and can actually cause a leak.
They should be ashamed of themselves just covering this up. They don't care. My God.
Unfortunately, we were really here just to fix some vents, repair a couple of flashings on the chimneys, that sort of thing. But, I mean, the flashings were completely done wrong. The chimneys were non-functional anyways, so we got rid of those. The roof boards were completely out of whack and original, so we've ended up having to rip the whole thing off and redo it from scratch. What we're putting in here is a layer of ice and water shield. When we took off this area of roofing here, we actually noticed a bit of moisture underneath some of the shingles. And what this ice and water membrane will do is will allow it to wick out on top of this roof as opposed to seeping down in behind it. This roof's going to be good for at least 25 years. It's going to keep anything from happening to the interior, all that brand new drywall, that brand new paint, that brand new kitchen, those brand new floors. And that's really what we need to do here.
By the time we gave the house back to Daniela and Franka, we had basically given them a whole new home from the outside in.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
Wow. This looks
the top.
amazing.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we looked at the roof. We went up to put a couple of vents in, realized that the roof was completely rotten and totally done wrong by whoever did it. We stripped the roof, resheeted it. We also took the shingles off that dormer,
Yeah,
put
I
up
like
siding.
that look. It's actually what I always wanted to do. I really like that look.
And now it's definitely safe. Not to mention all new fascia, eavesdrops, downspouts.
It's a huge weight off my shoulders. Huge weight off my shoulders, and I know that it's a huge weight off my mom's shoulders, so that makes me happy.
We gave up a lot when we moved here, so it means a lot to me to move back into my own home.
Even a new home can have a bad roof. And when the temperature went from hot to cold, Lee and Bailey found a winter wonderland in their attic.
There's problems on the floor, there's a problem on the wall. So I just looked up in the attic because it was in that room. And that's when we saw the snowbanks.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. Today we're looking at roofs gone wrong. What do you get when you have a new home with a bad roof? The same thing you get with an old home with a bad roof. Problems. When older homes need major repairs, I get it. But when a new home has serious issues, to me, there's no excuse. We have the technology, we have the products. Lee and Bailey bought new, thinking they were avoiding all the repairs that come with older homes. Man, were they surprised.
We moved here about 2 years ago. It's our second year here. What attracted us to this house was that it was a brand new home.
But right from day one, snow in the attic. Leaks, signs of problems, moisture coming in the house. Carpet's wet, one after the other.
In the wintertime, basically got the surprise. We woke up one morning and when I got up in the bedroom, it was basically like wet, soggy grass.
They bring in the site superintendent in the area that's probably still working here while the houses are being complete. He brings them over a ladder, tells them to go up on the roof and shovel off the roof.
The back side of the house, it was just a sheet of ice all the way down, and that's where he wanted me to go down. And the front side was ice and snow built up. It's like 30 feet to go down to the end. So he wanted me to go down that ice. And it's like this steep. And that's what he suggested. And he was dead serious, and he actually went to go get me the ladder so I could do it. So then I said, you know what, hold on. This isn't right.
Bailey?
Yeah.
And Lee.
Hey, Mike.
Pleasure to meet you both.
We called them like 30 times and they never even answered the phone. And then when we finally did get a hold of them, they basically just laughed at us and says, well, it's your own home maintenance to shovel all the snow off your roof.
We paid 2 different roofers to come, and we also paid the private inspector to come out. And the roofer that came out the second time to put those vents on fixed that. But he was actually laughing, and he actually said, do you have a camera I can have to go up here? And he took a bunch of pictures for me, which I have inside to show you.
Okay, 3-bedroom, 1, 2, 3.
So 3 bedrooms, 3 problems. Anywhere you want to start.
3 problems.
Yeah. Problems on the floor, there's a problem on the wall. So I just looked up in the attic because it was in that room. And that's when we saw the snowbanks in our attic. This is after we saw the water damage, which means it's already melted quite a bit. So it was higher than that. And this is what you're gonna find on the roof.
Has this been fixed at all?
No.
Their roof had major problems. And since I don't do patch jobs, not that any patch job could ever fix this, I knew what I had to do, replace the whole thing. Now that's step flashing because we're about 4 feet from the bottom.
Right.
Is that supposed to be all the way up?
Yes.
We must use step flashing and then a cap flashing.
Yep. Counter flashing.
Okay, and obviously it stops right there.
Yeah. What we'd like to see is ice and water.
Wrap it up?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's no caulking on the neighbors. There's no caulking on under them.
You won't find caulking anywhere.
There's a death trap I noticed on the other side here. That piece of wood?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's scary. That doesn't make me feel good. Just be careful walking around this roof. Rob called this one a death trap, the one that you could simply fall through. And I guess, in a way, they made sure that the one beside it here on this side was even worse. You know, to have the superintendent tell the guy to get up on the roof and shovel the snow off, can you imagine had he have fallen through here? That would not be good.
They just scabbed these onto the sides. So
that's even worse.
Even worse.
That's a long way down, boy. Someone's gonna get hurt. That's unacceptable because they made it unsafe for anyone who comes up here, including the homeowner. Homeowners, stay off your roof. This is what we want to do. We want to make sure that we put the water and ice shield in the valley with our metal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this is going to act on its own, never mind anything else. The more we concentrate on protecting the areas that are vulnerable, which are the valleys, the vents, any edge protrusions where the flashing is. How about the vents?
These vents, this is where the homeowners had the issues of the snow blowing in. And my real concern is, because it's a shared attic space, I have a feeling these were acting as an intake vent, which is why the builder had come back and put on, quote unquote, winter vents.
If we put on a better vent and not a winter vent, because I don't think there's any such thing, if we put on the best vent, it doesn't do that, does it?
Well, actually, what I'm thinking is to close these vents and vent this area through the main ridge, which is much higher elevation, and we'll do a ridge vent in that location.
Okay. So are we going to be getting to the steel roof today, do you think?
Absolutely.
A metal roof is more expensive, but it's worth every penny. Why? Because it will last. It's durable and more environmentally friendly than oil-based asphalt shingles. Not only does it look good, but it performs. This roof is going to help keep their home warm, dry, and fire-resistant. Lee and Bailey bought the house because it was new. They didn't want maintenance issues. They didn't want problems. They're terrified about buying an older house that someone has renovated and something's wrong with it.
It's the worrying of, what am I going to come home to when I come home from work today? Like, are we going to have water damage? Are we going to have whatever? I noticed on the weekend when I was looking at it, that we don't have vents like everybody else does. So I was hoping you didn't forget, but I had a feeling there's more to the story.
They're all gone now. You can see we have a proper vent there, right there, and that's for your bathroom. So that's not properly exhausted, not into a roof vent, but into a breathable, proper vent. We've given you from one side of the other to the other side of the house, and you really can't see it from here. It is a breathable ridge vent. Allows the fresh air to come in from the bottom, your soffit, the lowest point, pulling it all the way up to the highest point where hot air rises and allowing it to escape. You cannot get better than this.
It's great just to have our house back to how it should have been when we bought it. I mean, it's been so many problems since we bought the house for 2 years, and it's nice just to have, you know, the structure of the house in working order now.
This is something I would put on my own roof. I'm not going to go to the extreme for just to do it, okay?
Sure.
The reason I'm choosing this is because it's the best. It's the best installation. It's the best products, best underlayment. And if we want to do it, if it was my house, this is how I would do it. The roof saves everything on the inside. It stops mold if no water gets in. It stops huge insurance rates from water damage. Logical. Start thinking from the outside in and not the inside out. That's why we did it. It's an important issue. Thank you so much. And all right.
Throw me some man love.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Mike, nice.
Nothing serious. When you sit on a rooftop deck, you usually don't think about the roof that's holding you up. Wow, that is rotten. It is just completely falling apart. But when you're 30 feet off the ground, it might be a good time to start paying attention. Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. Today we're highlighting some of the worst roofing jobs I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot. When you spot a stain on your ceiling, it's not just a nuisance, it's a sign of a bigger problem. And for 7 years, that problem had been growing for Jane and Dan, and it was all under their second floor deck. Nice neighborhood.
Before we took possession of the house, on a walkthrough, I noticed that there was water staining on the ceiling below the flat roof and deck.
They jumped on it, they called up the builder. I like to see them step up to the plate and come in and take a look at the issues.
Hey, Mike.
Dan,
See you again.
Pleasure to see you again.
Hi, come on in. Nice to
They
meet you.
noticed that the water was sitting on the flat roof area and puddling big time.
They, of course, said, yeah, we'll fix it. And they apparently, we thought they had.
They waited for it to dry off. They did a temporary Band-Aid fix that I talk about all the time. Will never solve the problem.
What they had done was put a small patch over the membrane where they felt the leak was coming from.
Our problem is way up on the third floor.
At that point, we hired a roofing company to come in and replace the flat roof because I assumed that, okay, we've got a leak in the flat roof. We're gonna have to get it replaced.
The roofer started work, but after seeing the extent of the damage, I guess they realized it was more than just a roof job.
This is, well, you can see the lean-to structure out here that the roofing company left for us.
They got to a point and they said, no, we can't do anything with this. Now you need to go further and find somebody to fix it.
Wow, that is rotten. They strip it all up. They find the sheeting completely rotten. They start pulling up the sheeting. We have a huge red flag.
What we found was that the water had transferred into the top plate of the engineered joists, and those joists, 6 of them, I believe, are completely rotted away.
This is a great example of what happens to structure when a roof isn't done right. And any water that gets in will completely rot the wood.
What would cause all the, it's like sawdust almost,
What you're seeing is this wood.
because it couldn't breathe
Look
with
at that.
yeah.
It is just completely falling apart. Imagine this soaking for approximately 7 years, no ventilation, no air within that floor joist. It's gonna hold the moisture and turn it into almost a steam bath, or we'll call it a moisture bath. Whenever it comes to a flat roof, it is required by code to have a minimum slope. That 8-foot run should have about a 3/4 inch to a 1 inch high end going out to the scupper. The scupper is the drain. What happens when it runs into the house? That means it's gonna hold the water until the sun or the air dissipates the water. What if it rains for 4 days? Where does that water go? It's gotta build up to run out.
The roofing company basically, once they got to that point, once they saw that damage, basically washed their hands of it. They're roofers, they're not carpenters, contractors, they're roofing contractors.
I was surprised no one had fallen right through that floor. It was literally falling apart right underneath their feet. The extent of the water damage was so bad, fixing it meant replacing the entire structure. We started by taking the ceiling down in the room below the deck. Guys, I'm just going to push down in the center here so we try and cup all the plastic, okay?
Okay.
You ready? You know what? From this point here, this frickin' thing runs in towards the house. Thank you, sir. Oh my God. That is so running into the house.
Drastically.
Here's the top of the floor here. I'm not even close to it. It should be running out, not in the house. Look at this.
That's crazy. Are you level there? That's 2.5 inches.
2.5 inches. 2.5 inches in towards the house. How do they do that? I would accept level. I do not accept a 2-inch run into the house. No wonder. Lose it all because we're going to be going new. Once everything's down, let the dust settle, get it out of the house. Once we took out what was left of the beams, we could start building a whole new structure. We could take them ourselves, but you know.
Big man.
Nice.
Big man.
Okay. With the slope of the roof going towards the house, it was no surprise we had rot mold in the exterior walls. So we had to replace those too. This is 2x4 underneath the door. Like, that's gonna hold anything, right?
I don't think so.
We still have a nice slope there. So everything has to be done with the 8-foot level. That way we can shim it properly. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's what we do. We're actually 2 inches high on this end, down to 0 on this end. So we've created that 2-inch slope on an 8-foot span out.
First, we're gonna lay out the fiberglass paper. That is a fire retardant material. It gets nailed down. And what that material does is allows us to torch apply our rolled material to it. But because it is seamed, so there's butt edges, there's a chance of heat or flame getting down between. That's why we use the glass base paper first.
So just on the deck, or would you go right out with it?
Just on the deck and up the walls where we're gonna be torching against the walls.
With the roof in place and the scuppers done, all that was left was the finishes. We went above and beyond to make this special for Jane and Dan, and in the end, it really paid off. This deck was strong, it looked great, and I'll tell you, it was safe. I like it.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the glass.
It's beautiful, yeah.
So
You
you
actually
got
have a real deck.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
This is a floating deck. It is on
Yes.
top of a foam base to protect the roof.
Right.
This is in 3 sections. So if you've ever got to get under it, you drop anything.
Right.
We want to have a wider gap here for the snow. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's not rocket science neither. It takes a skilled professional to come in, oversee it, and go home. We had to re-angle the whole slope of the roof, so we had brought it up 3 inches to give a 1/4 inch per foot drop. What is necessary is protecting your investment. Are you happy?
Very happy.
I can't tell you how happy.
Very happy. It's,
Maybe now they'll use the deck and get to enjoy what they should have had 7 years ago.
great.
I'm really
Thank
sweaty.
you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm all
Hey, it's a
sweaty.
hot day and you worked hard.
It is. I'm
so
wearing my tent. I'm gonna have to take this tent off and go have a shower, but
Right.
enjoy.
We will.
A roof built with 5-star materials but installed with 1-star skills is still just a 1-star roof. Yvonne and Tadashi's contractor knew what to do. He just didn't know how to do it.
The shingles and the underlayment is lifted up, which was an ideal place for birds to make nests and wasps to try and create nests.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. Today, we're ripping the lid off of bad roofing jobs. The roof is a home's first line of defense against all elements. If we have a problem with the roof, we have a problem with the home. Yvonne and Tadashi wanted to build an addition. They would have paid for the best, but they were in a hurry and they hired the first person available, and boy, did they pay for it.
Out here in Canmore, where we are right now, the mountains, look at this. There is a boom happening that is unbelievable. There's not enough housing, there's not enough contractors, not enough skilled trades, period, out here.
All the contractors who came and gave us quotes were really nice guys, but they were busy. It's a building boom in town, and this fellow, even though he was busy, he had time. And so we signed the papers and we handed over a substantial amount of money. And the journey had begun.
And what a journey. It was a rocky road. The contractor was quick to start, but he never finished. Things slowed down, and he would disappear for weeks. The only thing he left behind was poor workmanship and a really bad reputation. There was no fixing that roof. The only hope was getting rid of it.
We have architectural controls in our little subdivision. The roofs have to match, the same height. So we showed him, and we're very insistent that the roofs match. And I'm coming along the road, and I'm thinking to myself, I can see something poking over the top of the roof. What is that? And as I'm getting closer, I realize it's the roof trusses of the addition are sticking up above my existing roof. And his response was really interesting. It took me back, and I didn't know what to say to it. He was like, "Oh, don't worry, Yvonne. It's your house is just weird." And I was thinking, my house is weird? So he came in a panic, saying that it was going to cost him at least $10,000 or more to fix it. And he didn't want to fix it. What could we do? Couldn't we compromise? So if we accepted that he didn't have to remove all the trusses and rebuild the roof, he would redo the shingles of the whole roof. And he would then, since he was touching the gutters, change the gutters. And we said he'd have to get it approved by the Architectural Control Committee. And if the Architectural Control Committee approved it, and he got a letter saying that they approved it, then we would compromise.
They had some ice and water shield on here, but there were spots that were missing, and it just wasn't a real good job, that's for sure.
It's probably the only thing that saved it from actually leaking into the house.
Absolutely. They had one of the valleys here, had nails right in the center of the valley. They had some flashing with no plywood underneath, so there's a big hole under there. So, it was a leak waiting to happen. The rain lines were crooked. There was just a lot of things wrong with his roof.
Hindsight is always great. With my hindsight, I wouldn't have budged 1 inch.
So we're going to do all new east trough and downspout?
Absolutely. All new east trough and downspout. Putting Harmony shingles on here, 35-year fiberglass shingles.
Awesome.
All drip edge.
Awesome.
Replacing all the flashings, which should have been done in the first place. It's going to look fantastic.
Look at the view. Yeah, just put me in a helicopter, put me on top, give me a few days. If I don't come back, call the bears, because they probably ate me.
You can definitely see the difference when you've got the pros on the job.
The roofers are up there. Jason, he tells me everything he saw on the roof, he's totally surprised it has not leaked yet.
Looking back on it, there were so many times we should have stopped.
Now that it's raining, it's probably a good thing that I brought in my roofers and put up a whole new roof, because I remember him talking that I can't believe it didn't leak. But they were good enough to put up a 35-year shingle, all brand new east troughs and downspouts. We just made it. I leave tomorrow. I'm very happy. The rain, we got really lucky. And it just seems that I took you outside of the house when it was pouring and this stopped. So someone's on our side, and I don't know who that is, but I hope you're happy.
I am very happy. In Japanese, we'll say, domo arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you very,
Absolutely.
very much.
Well, at least now I can go home and help someone else. This is how I get paid.
Building a roof takes 3 things: good materials, skilled crew, and really good weather. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. We've been taking a look back at hair-raising roofs and their issues. One of these issues is attic space. Your basic pitch roof gives you some space underneath it. I don't know why, but people think all that extra space can easily be converted into a living space. It can't. Joe and Julie were adding to their family. They wanted another room in their attic, so they brought in a contractor who said it was a simple job, wouldn't need any permits. No permits, no problem. The news seemed too good to be true. That's because it was.
Hello.
Julie, nice to see you again. Joe?
Nice to see you.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Glad you're here.
This is Noah. We adopted a child last year and wanted to adopt a second child. So we thought, do we do the addition in the attic or do we not? And because of the layout of the house, we thought it was doable. We just wanted to look nice. Our expectations, even with the contractor, weren't that we just wanted a room, a nice, structurally sound room, something that's not going to be the danger of anybody or fear of falling or, that's going to ruin our house.
We want it done right.
Yeah.
Gives him a quote in the area of $25,000 to put a room inside an attic. The idea would be that he structures everything on the inside, really just so that the floor joists are in, picks up the weight load of the roof, and creates a small room.
Do we have permits?
No.
If you think you need permits, pick up the phone and call the government. Hey, we're thinking about putting our room in our attic. Do we need a permit? What you're going to hear the government say is, you cannot put a room in your attic. You must put on a second floor addition.
And this is the access so I can get in the attic?
We actually had to cut that because they never made...
You cut this?
I cut the hole so I can get in there because they never left me
an access. Many times I asked them about the actual structure of the roof. There was trusses going all across inside, and they cut every single one of those out.
We had 7 or 8 different workers in here. Nobody knew what they were doing.
I'll tell you, this is...
Anytime we see visual, a few things wrong with it. We know there's a lot more wrong. It's hidden inside. The reason you cannot put a room inside an attic is because that attic was designed to be a breathable area, right? It's a cold zone. It's made out of 2x4 trusses. You can't beef it up. You can't do anything with it. You have to restructure the floor to allow continuous weight load upwards.
First things first, we're going to have to bring in an architect and an engineer. I'm going to have to go through this to determine what he's done. Based on what I've just seen here, there's enough here to tell me this is wrong.
There were HVAC issues, electrical and structural issues. It was a complete hazard, unacceptable. Everything had to go. If they wanted an extra room, it needed to be a second-story addition with permits.
Clear?
Clear? Clear below.
Oh, look at the span. Once we opened it up, it was obvious the structure was all wrong. None of it even passed code, so we tore it down. After we got our engineered drawings and our permits, we were ready to build. Are we ready? Let's go. Pass it to Mike. Screw it in. It was weeks before we could finally start rebuilding the roof. It seemed like our plans weren't on Mother Nature's schedule. What I'm trying to do is to build the wall and the floor and stand it up. We've got nothing but straight lumber. Awesome. Do I have a lot of room to do it? No. When we finally got a break in the weather, we pulled the tarp and we got to work. Normally, we have a standard 1x8, 1x6, or trusses. And we'll tie into it. But because this is now a ridge beam, we're going to have a cathedral ceiling. We're going to have to ride over it. All right, that's going to be cut out. That's what we call a bird's mouth. What do you got?
We got about a half-inch small.
Perfect, continue. Today we have a cathedral ceiling. That bird's mouth is gonna just come right over the outside wall on top plate, right over the outside wall, comes up to the rafter, and that locks in the outside wall. That wall cannot push out once tied into this ridge beam. Now we're gonna use these to come up on the beam, just like that. Okay? And we're gonna use the proper nails. We're gonna nail it into the beam, we're gonna nail it into the rafter, and that'll hold everything tight.
Okay.
Carl?
Yes, sir. There you go. Come on up.
I wanted to make sure the new roof and structure would last.
I went with a metal roof for its durability and its weather resistance.
The weather's sort of iffy up in the air, so we're gonna start with one section, rip it off, get some underlayment down.
Yeah.
Make sure it's watertight, and then start the application on the new product. It's a Galvalume steel roof.
What does that mean, galvanized aluminum?
It's Galvalume is zinc and aluminum coated, as opposed to galvanized. It's a little bit more industrial, stronger coating. Very corrosion resistant, even if it's scratched or damaged.
Right. So what do you have to do? Do you have to give it breathing room underneath? Do you strap it?
Well, because of the profile itself, it's a little slightly elevated, so it does allow some airspace.
Yeah.
There is some strapping required, but not on the complete roof.
Right.
Just in particular areas like the eave perimeter.
Right.
On the hips of the roof as well.
Right. Yeah.
In the U.S., in the southern markets, they do nail this product.
Yeah.
But in our climate, because of the drastic freeze and thaw cycles that we get, it's always screwed.
So what about wind? Like, what can this take in terms of gusts?
It's warranted up to 120 mile an hour wind,
right?
Which is equivalent to, I believe, a Class 3 hurricane.
Oh my God!
So pretty much impossible to rip this roof off.
Right.
Joe and Julie paid a lot of money for a space that was illegal, unsafe, and unfinished. What are the lessons here? Do your homework, slow down, give yourself enough time to find the right person for the job, get references and check them out, and get the proper permits, please. Come on in. You got a tan.
You did I?
I'm jealous.
I'm a little bit darker.
Yeah, you are a little bit darker. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Welcome back to your home.
Oh, thank you.
If I was just to come in and put in a proper bedroom addition on the house, it would have been a lot easier than what I had to do because of the contractor. $25,000, he says. We'll put a room in your attic. Not a problem. No windows, no heat. Tamper with the electrical and tamper with the structure. Your beautiful roof outside, Rob, is that something?
Oh. When I drove up, I couldn't stop staring at the roof, and it looks amazing.
He did so much more than we anticipated.
Looks like we bought a brand new house.
It looks like we're walking into a brand new house. It's absolutely gorgeous.
And this room is nothing
yeah.
compared to what it was before, not even close.
A roof seems like a simple job, but even the most simple roof is more complex than it looks. It's part of a bigger system that protects the home. If the roof fails, the whole system fails. If you're gonna hire somebody to work on your roof, make sure they know how and what they're doing. Is it worth the time? Is it worth the money? Absolutely. Believe me, you want a house with a good roof on its shoulders. Pinky.
Good job.
Thank you.
I don't know if he remembers me, does he?
Oh,
It's a party.
Remember your uncle?
Uncle Damon?
Adam. Carlito. Good job, man. Give me 5. Nice.
He did a fantastic job. You can't.
For more information about this show, please visit hgtv.ca.